Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I am your host, Johnny Hellcat, and with me today are Minions Sanguine
Good evening, all.
and the Camel.
Hello.
And if you noticed, today's random number of the day, I don't know because I couldn't find Hammer's stream, so I don't know what the number is.
It should be 7 greater than your last stream.
You know, math's not really my thing.
Not going to do the maths?
Public school, folks.
Not enough wampum in the... Anyway. Yeah. So, how are things going today, gentlemen?
Going fairly well for myself. What about you, Camel?
I mean, it was a busy day. Had a lot to do for Nana Camel today, but other than that, pretty decent. I mean, no complaints really. I stayed offline most of the day. That's probably what what helps.
Tipped it in your favor?
I mean, every now and then you got to take a break, right?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's for just a day or an extended sabbatical.
Now, I did have a call today at work, and it hit me in the feels. There was a 87-year-old woman who was calling about coverage for her because she wasn't feeling well, and it was to the point where she's like, I have to go to the hospital and I don't know where to go. And all of a sudden I felt like asking. I'm not allowed to ask, but I was like, damn it, don't you have any kids to like help you go to the hospital if you need to? And I'm just, like, I can't do that as much as I would love to. Just be like, I'm gonna reach through the phone, I'm gonna smack the shit out of your kids, have them help you. But no, I felt for the lady, and I was able to send her information on her benefits, which it's a Medicare supplement policy. So, like, anything that she could have gone through through Medicare, like, it would have covered. So, I mean...
Oh, I see commercials for that shit all the time. Nana Camel and I have been watching a lot of syndication TV. Really been enjoying Rawhide. That's actually been a hoot.
the old days.
It's a young Clint Eastwood, man. I mean, not a wrinkle on that dude's face.
Back when not just the actors gave a shit, but also the writers and directors sometimes did too.
Oh man, I don't know. Some of that fight choreography is hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, the choreographers
it makes
but
me
everyone
sick.
else did.
You know? And some of the plots also are a bit convoluted. Like for guys who are just running cattle, they sure get into a lot of shit. So,
And
like,
quickly,
I don't know how long I'd want to stay like working for Mr. Favor. I think I would seek other employment.
It's like, don't you realize your cattle are attempting to be stolen every day, every week this month?
Oh no, there's one episode, like one of the guys working on his group went into some town and ended up getting lynched.
Okay.
Got accused of murdering a lady, and Mr. Favor got himself horsewhipped. Yeah, it's like, you guys really. How long have you been working this trail? Do you not know which towns to avoid? What the fuck, man? Is there not? Do you not know one cartographer, really?
Maps are as old as time.
And the original jigsaw puzzles.
So, Nana Camel, she gets a kick out of hearing me complain about these shows, watching them for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am that annoying friend who's gonna like pick apart shit while you're watching it. Like, oh come on, that's not realistic.
Oh shit! Don't go in there! Don't open that door, motherfucker!
Bitch, don't run upstairs. They always run upstairs. He's gonna get you.
Now you are dead. Bet you feel stupid now.
So yeah.
I swear the best way to watch a horror movie is with a loud black family sitting right behind you.
Oh, in the theater? Yeah, like I didn't go to the theater much before the whole pandemic started, so I would go, I don't know, maybe 3-4 times a year tops. And then I think the last movie I saw in the theater was Deadpool 2 maybe.
It is the worst way to watch any other movie, but hands down the best way to watch any horror movie. You need to get that oh shit family sitting right behind.
Now I think I don't remember what movie I was watching with my stepson. We ended up as a major twist of fate. We ended up I can't remember which movie it was, but it was a horror movie. And he was with some gal. I think they had just started dating. And he was already kind of irritated with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, don't worry, I got your back on this one. Like, we ended up, like, because you have to buy your seats. And just at a major coincidence, like, I think I was like 2 people between them. Like, there was my seat, another person, and then a space for them, and then her seat, and then his seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I lean over to the guy. I'm just like, now watch this. He's like, have you seen this? I'm like, no, it's that predictable. And then as I'm going on, like, because the guy, I don't know, either he didn't like the movie or he was just like, hey, someone's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she leans over and she's like, that friend of yours is awfully loud in this movie theater. It was a shit movie. I don't even know why I spent the money to even go.
Yeah, it's the thing where if you're watching a good movie, the absolute worst thing that you could have is have a movie theater with a talkative audience. If it's an actually good movie. But when it's a shit movie, oh god, you need the other people to just start going, man, this is some bullshit.
I like to do like riff track stuff when I'm watching a shit movie.
Yep.
And Mr. Yes is asking me what my favorite Native American movie is. We talking like a movie with like a Native American as like central character, or we talking like Last Mohicans, Daniel Day-Lewis acting actor man being an Indian?
Or is it one that has to be shown on the side of a buffalo?
Or being pantomimed by the elders.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd probably have to go with that old standby Johnny of Smoke Signals.
Yeah.
As a kid, that movie cracked me up. It's depressing as shit, but it made me laugh. So I'd say that's probably my go-to.
Yeah, it was.
I had a dude. I was working a cash register, and one of the customers came up. It was an Indian dude, and I think it was like the day after you and I talked about Smoke Signals on stream, and he did John Wayne's teeth right there in line, like from memory.
Nice.
Okay, it's your duty as an American. Go watch Armageddon after the stream.
Armageddon?
Yeah.
Eh.
Oh, come on. That movie is so cheesy.
Oh, it's definitely cheese.
Welcome to Earth.
No, that's Independence Day. Saying.
Oh yeah, that's Independence Day. I always mix up. It's Armageddon, Independence Day. I mix up, and then it's Armageddon and what was the other movie that came out the same fucking
Deep
year
Impact.
that had the same? Yes.
The one with Elijah Wood and Lily. So I don't know how to say. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I always confuse the names of Independence Day and Armageddon, and I always confuse the plots of Armageddon and Deep Impact. Armageddon's the Buscemi, right?
Yeah. No nukes. You saw Godzilla '98, but you haven't seen Armageddon. For shame, Mr. Yes. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, he's kind of got you on that one.
Next, you're gonna tell me you haven't seen Con Air. What's going on here?
Buscemi had the best caveat for him doing the job of that entire crew, though. Do you remember
was a geologist.
Do you remember what his policy was, or what his requirement was in order for them to get him to agree to do the job?
Never pays taxes again, ever.
He and no one else that goes with him has to pay their taxes ever again. Fuck yeah.
Okay, you were 3 in 1998. Guess what? It's 2022. Time is linear, sir. Think of all that time between 1998 and now that you could have spent watching Armageddon at least once.
Mm-hmm.
And hating yourself for it.
Oh, come on, man. Michael Clark Duncan.
Okay, that's not to say that there weren't.
You get to see Owen
Wilson
Wilson die. Come on, you get to see Owen Wilson dead in a movie. How often does that happen?
Not to say that there aren't good parts of the movie, but all in all, the movie's shit.
Now, for the love of God, don't ever listen to the soundtrack. What do you want to bet? He's never seen the movie, but he has heard that fucking song.
Well, everyone's heard that fucking song.
Ugh.
It's playing in my head right now. Actually,
that fucking song.
It's playing in all of our heads right now. That's how pervasive that song is.
It has raped my eardrums.
Yeah, that's why I don't trust Ben Affleck with accents. That's supposed to be like his David Attenborough.
Wait, he was trying to pull a David Attenborough for that?
I don't know. but that's what he thinks like all National Geographic documentaries sound like, I guess. So that was what I was figuring.
I just figured it was as normal, slightly retarded.
Like I said, that's why I don't trust him with accents. He can do Boston great. I mean, the dude grew up in Massachusetts, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So, like, him and Matt Damon grew up together.
God damn it. Every time I hear Matt Damon's name, it just reminds me of...
I have to do that. I feel compelled.
Yep.
Yeah, that is the thing that most people think of. But when I hear the name Matt Damon, it just reminds me of being at this convention with my best friend. And we had just gone to the hotel room for a moment to just kind of get ready to go back to another event, but relax for a moment. On the screen, it's this commercial of, like, hi, my name's Joe. I'm a plumber. And my friend is just going in and out of the room. And he's like, hi, Joe. Goes to do something else. And then he sticks his head back out and goes, wait a minute. You're not Joe. You're Matt fucking Damon. So now every time I hear Matt Damon, I think both the Matt Damon well as you're Matt fucking Damon.
I was right, guys. He's quoting the song in chat. He's heard the song, still hasn't seen the movie. It's like,
yeah. 90s Liv Tyler was hot. 2000s Liv Tyler was hot. I don't know about current Liv Tyler.
I think she's probably still hot.
Oh, that just got me thinking about a Jersey Girl.
Oh, the movie that killed George Carlin.
Well, no, because Sanguine confused Armageddon and Independence Day earlier, and there's actually a thread connecting in my brain here, and it's Ben Affleck played a character that was Will Smith's agent.
Ah.
And it was right before Independence Day came out. This is when the movie was set, at the start of it. Yeah, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez have a baby. She dies in childbirth, so he's a single dad raising an infant. And he's trying to give some kind of like press statement or whatever for Will Smith. And he blows up and he's trashing the dude in front of the press. Like, this movie's not gonna do shit, and he ends up getting fired for it.
I think we can all be happy though that Matt Damon at some point finally stopped trying to give all of his girlfriends film careers. Yeah, because for a while there were just a bunch of movies, all of them god awful, where it was Ben Affleck and his current woman as the stars. Because there's Jersey Girl.
Don't forget Geely.
Geely.
Yeah, Geely was that written by him? Was that written by him? That should have gotten him booted from Hollywood.
That should have gotten him hung.
I've never actually watched it. I heard it was bad, and I just avoided it. Was never a curious camel with that one.
Bad is not quite a fitting description of how horrendous that movie was.
Yes, Mr. Yes, we are aware that Steven Tyler is Liv Tyler's father, and he does. He looks not. I wouldn't say so much like a lady, but more like a crazy old cat collecting grandmother.
So crazy old cat collecting grandmothers are not ladies?
I mean, not in like the Victorian sense.
True.
Argo was good. I'll give him that one.
My introduction to Ben Affleck was Pearl Harbor. Oh man.
Oh, woof.
I'm sorry, sir. Mallrats, yeah. Dazed and Confused. Yeah, Linklater. That's probably his most famous one.
The thing is, he plays a really damn convincing asshole.
I would probably have to side with like Polydub, and say my favorite Ben Affleck movie is probably The Town.
I'm not sure if I've seen that one.
He's a bank robber in Boston. Charlestown, if I'm not mistaken. He's a townie.
Oh wow. Geely is rated 2.5 out of 10 on IMDb. I'm gonna look for some. I'm gonna see who wrote this pile of garbage. But
I thought for a moment there you were going to say, "I'm going to see who made a worse movie."
Well, I was gonna read the 1 stars.
Nice.
Since we're there. Martin Brest. Yeah, there's a reason why you've never heard of him.
Oh, your mom took you to see Pearl Harbor for educational purposes?
What?
I feel like a book probably would have been better.
I feel like your mom was not very fond of you.
Was that a Michael Bay movie? Pearl Harbor? Who did Pearl Harbor?
I think he directed it.
Yeah, I thought it was. Let's see. Sounds like Johnny already looking it up.
Since I am on it, let's see. Yeah, Michael Bay, written by Randall Wallace.
Assassin. He came in right before you did. He said, "Michael Bay." I don't know why he's shouting, but
Well, I mean,
He was
Michael Bay.
He was correct.
Always comes in with an explosion. It's like if you were going to mention J.J. Abrams, it would have been on some lens flares, I'm sure.
Oh, come on. The explosion should have been a clue.
No, now I have to ask, what is the text version of lens flares?
Text version of lens flare?
All
I'm not
caps is
much of a
the
writer, so
text
Johnny,
version of
take it away.
explosion.
Well, that would mean having to know fonts, and I couldn't do that. But if you could lens flare some text in there, that'd be sweet.
Okay,
I mean, it would get annoying fast, but yeah.
I mean, we're on the topic of Michael Bay movies, so have you at least seen The Rock, Mr. Yes?
That one's a classic.
He's seen Con Air at least. I'll give him credit for that. That's an American classic, if there ever was one.
And again, if we're talking about horrendous accents,
Oh, I mean, come on. Nicolas Cage's Alabama is beautiful.
it is one of the best worst accents that you could possibly imagine.
And at the risk, because I know Terry's in chat, at the risk of sounding like Jack Cochran, who I am not, disclaimer, Nicolas Cage does play white trash incredibly well, you gotta admit.
Okay,
See,
Michael Bay directed the music video for Donny Osmond's Sacred Emotion.
Okay.
I do like that lore assassin, that The Rock is a retired James Bond. Change my mind. I'm not gonna try, dude. I enjoy that.
And Greg Allman.
See,
Is that the Allman brother that was married to Cher? Or is it the other one?
I'm still pissed at the
Yes.
James Bond cinematic world currently, because they keep on with the newest James Bond, Daniel Craig. They kept on trying to play it both ways, where James Bond is a brand new agent and the most experienced agent to have ever agent, while also trying to say that there were previous James Bonds before James Bond, but then also making it clear that his surname is actually Bond because Skyfall was the Bond family manor. Pick one fucking way. Is he a brand new agent and James Bond? Is he a brand new agent and he's James Bond, the only James Bond, but brand new James Bond? Or is he just the latest in a line of Bonds, and Bond is a code name that just gets passed around? Because if Bond is a code name, then his family manor is not the Bond family estate, because his name isn't actually Bond now, is it?
I'm not gonna lie, I've not seen any of the Daniel Craig Bonds.
It's one of those things that's frustrating because Daniel Craig is a good actor.
Yeah.
He didn't have the right look for Bond in my mind, but they could have pulled it off. It was just how they tried to run through it ended up being fucking schizophrenic.
You know, now that I think about it, I haven't seen Daniel Craig in a whole bunch. I remember there was like a mini series that they had on Netflix back in the day when I first started streaming Netflix stuff. It was called, I think, Archangel. It had him and Gabriel Mock, the dude from Suits.
Yep.
That was pretty good.
Which one was that?
I think it was called Archangel.
Like I said, Daniel Craig is a good actor. It's just the writing did not really do him justice, because he got this script that couldn't decide what it was trying to do. And unfortunately, that's been the trend, where they keep on trying to play it as Bond is a code name and Bond is his actual name. And that's just ridiculous, Terry. That maybe it's a coincidence that Bond is both the code name and his actual surname. No, fuck you if you're a writer that tries to make that a thing in canon.
My question is like, how long ago did they really start playing with the idea of Bond being, more than one person? Like when they had like Roger Moore,
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, okay, so not that long ago at all.
Yeah, it was literally the same movie that they have the Bond family estate. They make reference to previous Bonds. And make reference to, yes, that was a previous agent, where they bring in one of the old Bond cars and a couple of the old Bond gadgets. And they say that that was a previous Double O's. Cars and gadgets. So saying that it's a previous Bond, because we saw those movies, we know where those gadgets and car came from. But then they try to make it the Bond family estate is his house, where, no, fuck you. You get to choose one. Don't do both in the same fucking movie that close together. Especially not that close together, right? And it's just infuriating, because every other James Bond, it was no. The James Bond that you're currently watching is James Bond. And it's been the same James Bond throughout, and it was just suspension of disbelief, because actors would age out or be changed. But it was a continuity of Bonds, which was made clear by the continuity of Q.
I think Mr. Yes is not wanting to admit he hasn't seen The Rock either, because he hasn't said anything in chat since I asked that question.
Well, he did say that he has seen the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah.
You know what Sam Raimi Spider-Man isn't?
The Rock.
Mm-hmm. And to respond to what Assassin of the Grey said, he says all Craig does is pout and scowl at the camera, looking like he wants to be somewhere else. There's one moment in the very beginning of Casino Royale that I thought was a really good characterization of Bond, especially since that was when they were trying to have him be brand new Bond. So it was effectively a flashback at this point. And they had Bond chasing that one guy through the construction site. You guys know that scene? Have you seen that?
I'm not a big Bond buff, so
John, have you seen that scene?
Which one?
Casino Royale, where Bond is chasing the one black guy through the construction site in Africa.
Yeah.
And they have the guy that he's chasing is this like free runner, ridiculous parkour son of a bitch. So he's jumping in these narrow gaps, just dancing around shit, slipping through insane windows and weird positions. And the guy is much smaller and lighter than James Bond. James Bond the entire time is having to find alternative routes because he can't do what the other guy does. And at several points is just like, fuck it, we're in a construction site, that's a bit of drywall ahead of me. I'm big enough I can crash through that. And he just shoulders through the drywall rather than trying to jump up and through this weird, like, 7-foot up in the air window between two sections of the building. Which, that was really good. And I wish that there was more of that, where it was two very different combatants. That's one of the reasons why Jackie Chan movies were so much fun. Because it was damn near every movie, Jackie Chan would get in a fight with just an absolute tank. So you'd get to see the difference in how Jackie Chan fought the General Mook versus how he fought this tank, where he knew that if he got hit, he'd be fucked up. And it's something that movies need to remember how to do that. TV shows need to remember how to do that because they keep on doing a lot of things that fuck up amazing characters by not wanting to have that kind of setup. A perfect example of that is if any of you have had the misfortune of seeing the Hawkeye series.
Nope, haven't watched a frame.
Good. Keep it that way.
I've watched Scribe's streams about it.
I tried to watch WandaVision, and I was pretty much checked out after that. I don't think I even made it through a full episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like, nope, we good.
Falcon and Winter Soldier apparently assassinated fucking everyone's character except for the guy that they tried to make seem like he was an asshole, who they just made seem like he was a really fucking cool guy.
Oh, you mean Kurt Russell's kid?
The guy who was the Captain America replacement?
Yeah, that's Kurt Russell's son.
Yep. Yeah, they made him seem really fucking awesome while trying to say that, no, he's wrong and bad and should be looked down upon. And I'm going, no, he's fucking Captain America now. If you aren't going to have Steve Rogers as Captain America, that son of a bitch is Captain America.
Well, no, like I saw like a screenshot or something of him in the suit. I was like, that chin looks familiar. Who the fuck is that?
But
and yeah, Assassin Wyatt Russell. That's the guy. And I do like Assassin's idea up here further in the chat. Cast Henry Cavill as James Bond and set the story in the 1960s. Problem solved.
Well, I mean, you have The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I enjoyed that movie. I really did. That was Guy Ritchie, wasn't it? Yeah.
I did enjoy that movie.
I liked him as the American and the American actor playing a Russian.
Cavill would be an amazing Bond because he looks like Bond.
I forget the Russian character's name. Is it Ilya? What was his name?
Though, in the Hawkeye series, there's a point where a tiny woman ends up beating Kingpin in a fight. Just straight up beating Kingpin in a fist fight.
Yes, Assassin. Well, the character goes back to the TV show,
Ilya,
which was played by Ilya. What was his last name though? Didn't it have a last name?
Doesn't show on the thing.
Because that was the medical examiner from NCIS. That was his character originally on The Man from U.N.C.L.E. They made reference to it on NCIS. Yes, that character played by Armie Hammer is the cannibal guy's name. And I why would you text that to somebody? Like, you guys know that story?
I've heard things.
Sanguine, are you aware?
I'm not familiar.
So Armie Hammer is an actor. He played Ilya in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and no, he's that cannibal guy from now on. Yeah, he played Ilya in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and he has also played the Lone Ranger alongside Johnny Depp as Tonto in that god-awful movie. And
what, you mean you didn't love that movie?
Just because Johnny Depp is part Cherokee, no. That's not enough. That movie was shit.
I like how for a moment there it sounded like the reason why you didn't like it was because he was part Cherokee.
Well, I know. I'm saying just because he is doesn't mean I could justify liking that dog shit. Yeah. I appreciate, engine representation in cinema, but not that much. We don't need it that bad.
The thing is, Johnny Depp plays Johnny Depp amazingly. He sucks at playing any other.
He plays Keith Richards pretty all right. That's
True.
about it.
Yeah.
He plays Johnny Depp and Johnny Depp adjacent characters very, very well.
I mean, I'll give him credit for going ahead and living with Hunter S. Thompson while he was getting ready for Fear and Loathing. But I mean, it seems he can play like real life weirdos.
Yeah.
Pretty all right. Other than that,
Like I said, Johnny Depp adjacent.
fair enough. I just took the long way home.
But yeah,
But anyway, Armie Hammer. Back to we got sidetracked with Johnny Depp and his weirdness. He was texting with like was it a girlfriend? I don't know if it was anything more. Was it a wife? Was this like divorce shit that came out?
No, I think it was a love interest of sorts. Nothing committed.
Yeah, because I never paid attention to like the relationship angle. I was like, you texted a bitch that you wanted to eat parts of her. What?
whoa.
Yeah. Like he had a kink, like he wanted to eat a bitch, literally.
Yeah, the last time someone actually went through with that, it did not turn out well.
So,
Especially for the guy.
Yeah, he had his penis chewed off.
we talking about the German dude?
Yep.
I thought
It wasn't chewed off. It was cut off and then sauteed, but sauteed poorly, so the dog ended up eating it.
Yeah, that's.
And then the dog went all Gordon Ramsay on it.
I mean, if you're wanting that to happen to you, right? If you're in that situation, you're like, I want to die and I want somebody to eat my flesh on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think you'd like screen to make sure that the person that's going to be, filleting you is actually a decent cook?
Yeah, at least have them make you dinner first.
Well, I would have figured, looking this up, I would have typed Armie Hammer C, and it would have been controversy.
It goes straight to cannibalism, doesn't it?
It goes straight to cannibal messages.
Yeah, man. Like I say, not trying to victim blame here or anything, but dude should have, I realize pig and slim when you got that kind of fetish, but do your due diligence, sir.
At the very least, take over some Rocky Mountain oysters and go, okay, I want you to cook these perfectly.
Oysters and a bratwurst. Go.
Yep.
Okay, that's
cook
not...
these perfectly. If you fuck them up, no, not now. You have to go take some cooking lessons.
If this is the message, this is not cannibalism, but it is serial killer type behavior. If I wanted to cut off one of your toes and keep it in my pocket, if I wanted to cut off one of your toes and keep it with me in my pocket, so I always had a piece of you in my possession, ? That's not really cannibalism, in in defense of Armie Hammer.
Still, that's... Why?
Your Honor, my client was clearly not talking about cannibalism. He was just talking about serial killer trophies.
Assassin. Whatever happened to a lock of hair? That's a fair point. Now I could have sworn when he was talking about just straight up fava beans and a Chianti.
No, he's just talking about chopping off one of her toes.
Which one do you think he goes for? You think he goes for like the big toe, or like is he just gonna take like a pinky? Like how off balance is this chick gonna be next time they go dancing?
I'm sure he'll just take the pinky. He seems like a nice guy.
I mean, he was the Lone Ranger. He's got to be a gentleman about it, right?
Now they're saying that
also not a fan of the old Lone Ranger show either. that comes on after Rawhide, and maybe this is just my internalized Uncle Ruckus, but I don't think I'm a fan of Tonto. The way he be talking like that just strikes me wrong. Like by that point in time, white people had been in North America for a couple hundred years at least. You tell me this dude didn't know how to speak English yet?
Saying that he should have aged out of the caveman speech.
Well, how many seasons did the Lone Ranger go on? Yes, he should have.
Well, there still would have been some broken English, but yeah,
but
some.
It's like listening to like Proto Yoda.
Proto.
Let's see here.
Proto, yes.
Well, there is a rape accusation out there, but I am not seeing anything other than the headline, so I am not inclined to believe it.
He's going out on a limb in the defense of this wasn't cannibalism.
I think he
some serial killer shit.
I think he like also did like a stint in rehab at some point after those allegations, and I'm not sure for some reason I'm wanting to say it was like sex addiction rehab or something like that. Something ridiculous.
Something South Park worthy.
Yeah.
Something to get him to stop trying to cut off and smoke toes.
Tonto still speaks English better than some Americans I know.
What does bison taste like? It is delicious.
Amazing beefy.
It is far better than burger will ever be.
Why you keep trying to change the subject, Mr. Yes? You still haven't answered my question. You told us about AP canceling this show. You're asking about how bison tastes. Have you seen The Rock, sir?
Just say no and let us move on with this.
I'm waiting for him to come back with, I've seen Rocky.
Now, I remember when I was a kid, there was a kid in our class who he was more native than I was, just to be sure. And we were doing sort of the show and tell thing. And he brought a relative of his off the res to to show us how to do smoke signals. And like we actually got the school to like set out a big bonfire in the middle of the playground so that he could do the smoke signals. And he goes, "Yeah, let me show you something. This is how we would send, a call for help." And he'd, kind of like puff up some smoke and let some off, and then puff up, let it go, puff up, let it go. And I looked at my friend and I'm just like, "That's not it, is it?" And he goes, "I don't fucking know." Like,
nice.
He's like, "I had to come up with something. It's the first thing I could think of."
Oh, my dude's just sitting there typing out like SOS with smoke.
That's what I was half expecting, for someone to go, "Wait, that's just SOS."
Probably just drop fire water.
Hey, Mr. Adam, how's it going?
Bring beer. Hey, Adam.
Not just a giant dwarf. So I get double the alcohol tolerance.
Yeah, he's got one keg on his hip and one keg over his shoulder. Like, all right.
Oh, man.
I saw the smoke signal. I'm here.
Speaking of booze, I was over at Nana Camel's cleaning today, and my grandmother does not drink. Very rarely, if ever, in the past would she drink. But going through cleaning out her house, I found like 4 bottles of booze. I was like, if I was like some home health worker or something like that, I'd think you were an alcoholic. Lucky for you, I actually know you.
Wait, 4 bottles of booze makes you an alcoholic?
Well, when they're scattered around the house in like weird places because she just, moved something somewhere and forgot it. Yeah. Like two of the bottles were like right up against her bed, and she had like other stuff that had fallen over and covered it up.
What kind of booze are we talking here?
There's some Bacardi Gold.
Should I be worried that I have... Oh, I didn't even count this over here.
No, I didn't.
Should I be worried that I have 12 within arm's reach?
I didn't hide mine. So I was good.
Well, no, it's just like these are bottles that have been bought, like at different time periods and just forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
She never. But yeah, so like, I'm just trying to tell you guys, like, I scored free booze today, so who knows? Maybe a drunk stream in the future, Johnny.
Well, if my stomach is ever in the mood for it, I will.
Oh, I didn't mean you having a drink. Somebody's got to press the buttons, man. I was talking about me. Like, I'll get sloshed. You man the controls. You're my designated streamer, Johnny.
I was gonna say, yeah, someone's got to be the designated streamer there.
Nice. And I just realized I counted 12, and I forgot the bottles that are currently sitting on my desk because I just made dinner.
I have a bottle.
14 bottles.
Well, no. Here's what's funny. I think you and I had talked at one point about using vodka for cast iron skillets or whatever, cleaning those. Well, she actually does have some cast iron, and so I asked her, I was like, "Hey, you got any vodka?" She was me like, "What?" It's like I'm doing dishes in here. You got cast iron I was going to clean. She goes, "And you'd use vodka?" I was like, "Yeah, it'll evaporate quickly, and like doesn't have to be like top shelf shit. Something, just some rot gut." She's like, "No, I don't have any vodka."
Now, how do you
guess what I found today?
How do you use vodka?
Vodka. So what you do is you heat your skillet on the burner, just like you're about to start cooking something. Then you splash in a bit of vodka. You quickly scrub that around if you have like a scraper or a chainmail scrub. Quickly scrub the bottom. The vodka helps lift everything off the bottom of the pan, just like water would. Wipe out your pan. Let it heat for a little bit longer on the stovetop. The vodka evaporates faster than water does. Oil down your pan, turn off the heat. You're good to go.
Huh.
It
is the easiest, quickest way to clean cast iron, in my opinion.
But yeah, like found like a bottle of Absolute. I was like, I just walked into the room that she's laid up in now. I just had the bottle. I was like, what happened to not having vodka?
Nice.
She's like, I don't even know when the last time I saw that was. I was like, yeah, apparently.
And yeah, like you said, do not use the vodka that you like to drink unless you like to drink absolute bottom of the bargain barrel swill.
I don't like vodka anyway, man. Like I gotta mix that with something. I can't drink straight vodka.
I don't drink vodka. The only vodka that I buy is this shit. And to give you a clue of how cheap I'm talking if you're spending more than $11 for a handle of vodka for your cleaning, you're spending way too much. I literally get $10 handles of vodka for my cleaning.
I still need to find you that bottle that I told you about, the Lewis and Clark brand. It is Chez Magnifique. You will never taste anything better in your life.
I should rephrase what I said earlier. I didn't find like 4 actual bottles of booze. I found like 3 bottles of booze and like 2 mixers. Yeah, there's a bottle of vodka, there's the bottle of Bacardi, and then there was the bottle of peach schnapps and like some margarita mixes.
Like I said, when you started going through the 4 bottles of booze makes someone an alcoholic.
No, it's like I said, like these were partly drank bottles that were like by her bed, in one of her bedrooms.
Okay, by the bed, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, if this was some home health worker came in here to, was helping you clean up and stuff, and they saw this, they'd think you were a booze hound.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there by the bed, in arm's reach whenever you're passed out drunk.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Because-
I want to try.
Because I don't get passed out drunk. I'm like, I know.
I do want to try something between you guys. Because I want
He'll
to
drink me under the table. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, not that. Like,
Oh, I will drink you under the table in turn.
I'll go shark-eyed. I can tell you that right now.
you'll drink us under all of the tables.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was thinking for the. Should I ever compile the thing for the Jeopardy stream again? I bought the Trivia Pursuit Baby Boomer edition because I knew when I first played this when I was a kid that they were fucking impossible questions to even answer.
Oh yeah, a lot harder, a lot better questions.
So I was gonna run a couple questions by you guys and the chat if they wanna jump in, just to see how easy some of these questions would be for some people, namely you, Sanguine. Okay,
I feel a little insulted, but okay.
I've already asked you a series of questions and you've gotten them all wrong.
That's a matter of perspective.
Oh no, wait! You got one of them right. It was the village people.
I'm just waiting for him to draw the first card, and it is entirely about Rawhide.
On what episode of Perry Mason?
Let's see here.
Just hear me cracking my knuckles. I got this one.
Who were America's favorite couple?
This is.
Is there a
Baby
time
Boomer,
frame?
right?
This is the baby boomer edition, so I'm guessing
So
it's probably
it's
what
going to
40s.
be Lucille Ball and
Desi Arnaz?
Yes.
Let's see, this was
I
1980.
don't know. I would guess the Kennedys.
Let's see, 1983 is.
Kennedy's is another good show.
Assassin says Bacall and Bogey.
Okay.
Another good one. It depends on what time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Ozzy and Harriet.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of in between the ones that we guessed. It was.
Okay, well, I guess what time frame would that be around?
Mr. Yes says Jackie Gleason. Because he went ahead and punched Alice into orbit.
Okay, so who portrayed Billy Shears in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band?
Oh, it's a guy who's called the Fifth Beatle, isn't it?
No, I did. I never watched any of the Beatles movies.
I didn't either.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band wasn't a Beatles movie. It was Peter Frampton and his band playing as Sgt. Pepper's, or playing as the heirs to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And the man who was known as the Fifth Beatle, Billy Preston.
Actually, you were right before that. It was Peter Frampton.
Oh, Peter Frampton. Okay. Thought it was one of the side characters, not the main character.
Okay, let's see here. Who succeeded Archibald Cox as Special Watergate Prosecutor?
This one I should know, but I can't remember that one. Skep would have that in an instant, though.
Or Prospero, I bet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's. Let's read here them. I got this one.
Not only would he have it, he'd have a story about the guy that would be fascinating.
Let's see.
Was it like Morris or something like that?
Leon Jaworski.
Okay, Jaworski. Oh, Morris was the guy before him, wasn't it? Okay.
No, Mr. Yes, it wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis.
Really, that guy, you know,
He could do it, but
He
I don't
could.
think it would be. I don't think he would do it. Let's see. What reporter was assigned by the Washington Post to cover Watergate burglars' first court appearance?
Woodward and or Bernstein.
I'm going to say, yeah, you have it right, but I don't think so. Yeah, I'll go Woodward.
It was.
I'll say Bernstein then.
It's going to be someone else.
It was Bob Woodward.
Oh, yes. Aha.
All right, so let's see here. What Watergate figure's first initial E stands for Everett? So this would be like Nixon era type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everett.
And this is definitely Nixon era.
For some reason, I know it's Nixon era, but for some reason I keep thinking of Scooter Libby, which is fucking Dick Cheney's guy.
It was Howard Hunt, wasn't it? Everett Howard Hunt? Howard Hunt?
Everett Howard Hunt.
The CIA guy.
All right, and so last one. What did the Fugs ask us to kill for?
I'm sorry, what?
What did the Fugs ask us to kill for?
Can I get a definition?
The Fugs.
Are you saying Fugs?
Fugs.
They say
F?
TH.
F-U-G-H. F-U-G-S.
Yes.
The Fugs are a band.
They're a band.
Yes.
God and Country? I have no fucking clue, dude. I'd never even heard of this.
I have not either. Peace.
Kill for peace, huh?
Kill for peace. In fact,
God damn it! My mic. I bumped my mic. I unmuted my mic, and it didn't unmute. I've been saying "kill for peace," didn't I? It was "kill for peace," right? Oh shit! I bumped my mic. I unmuted myself. Was it "kill for peace"?
I know what it is.
No, normally it's me that ends up doing that. Like, how long have I been muted now? 5 minutes?
I had my mic placed too close to my head, and I bumped it with my head, I think.
So yeah, those would make for if I could get you three on again. Well, I know that Skep's not really one for playing the trivia, but he would
Skep would make a killing in that edition, especially.
He would be a good judge because I know for a fact, like with the last time we played, there are answers that would need to go for
Judge's ruling.
Judge's ruling. So.
Yeah,
all I know is as long as it's not me trying to organize the stream with Skep or Prospero, I think we'll be all right.
As long as we organize it.
When it comes to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, it is one of the weirdest fucking premises for a movie. Because the premise is World War II kicks off. I think it was World War II in the beginning of the movie, kicks off. And the world is plunged into war, as it was during World War II. But then the war is stopped by Sgt. Pepper and his Lonely Hearts Club Band, who played music so beautiful and so moving that it caused the entire world to decide, fuck it, let's go to peace.
Yeah, let's be commies.
They made peace. War was stopped.
LSD was a thing in the 70s, so...
Oh, was World War I in the beginning of Sgt. Pepper? I remembered it was one of the world wars. But they make peace. Sergeant Pepper becomes a not just national fucking hero, but a global goddamn hero because the man stopped the World War. So him and his band just keep on touring until they're like fucking 98 or some shit. And then the last one of them to survive drops dead. And their hometown names a group as the heirs to Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And it is Frampton and his band are named as the heirs. Then they end up going on tour. As they're on tour, their instruments get stolen by just obscenely cartoonish villains, which include the second time that Steve, was it Steve Martin? Steve Martin was the "Let's Be a Dentist" song, right? From Little Shop of Horrors?
Yes.
And I just realized I can't hear you guys at the moment.
You can't hear me?
There we go. I can hear you guys.
Okay.
My headset fucked up that time. So,
Why'd you hit yourself, Sanguine? Oh my god.
I hit my head on the microphone and then I hit the fucking bottom of my headset, apparently.
There's a lot of self-abuse going on here, and I think we need to address it.
You just tried to stop my inadvertent body hardening. But
Sanguine? Don't.
it was Steve Martin, I think, was the "Let's Be a Dentist" or "Some Be a Dentist" song in Little Shop of Horrors, right?
Yes.
It's been so long since I've seen it. All I remember is Rick Moranis and the plant being like, "Feed me, Seymour."
So Steve Martin was again an evil dentist. Then Aerosmith were another group of villains that were the media run music group. And it was Leonard Skinner was another group of villains. It was just this absolutely ridiculous fucking plotline where they're having to duel against various villains and singers and Steve Martin in order to get their musical instruments back. And as they're doing this, their hometown is just going to shit. And at the very end, Strawberry Fields, which, yes, that's the female love interest's name. So it becomes very fucking weird when Strawberry Fields starts singing Strawberry Fields and just makes absolutely no sense by doing so. But she ends up dying in the fight against Aerosmith, if I remember correctly. And then they get revived by Billy at the end of the movie. It was fucking weird.
Yeah, that does sound weird. That's like
Yeah, it is one of those gloriously weird, fucking acid trip movies that is god awful, but watch it. It's amusing. It's god awful, but it's amusing.
No, my cousin was super into the Beatles, and
Oh yes, Frampton and the Bee Gees.
I'm
Mystery.
just like
Right.
I could not. I couldn't see it.
Nana Camel was more of an Elvis fan, so
Not
not a lot of Beatles playing when I was growing up.
I think it was a lot of it was because everyone who was listening to it was like, "Oh man, you gotta be so high when you listen to this." I'm like, "What's that gonna do?"
Did they confuse the Beatles for Pink Floyd?
I think so. Either that, or
did they confuse they confuse that old stoner trope of like watching The Wizard of Oz and playing Dark Side of the Moon and syncing it up with the lion roar at the beginning?
Or they confused the Beatles songs for the Yellow Submarine movie, because that thing is trippy as fuck.
Yeah, is that a hockey game or is that a soccer match?
The Yellow Submarines move. Oh, okay. Where?
He says this game I'm watching sucks. The defense wasn't there at all, and the goalie is terrible tonight. So I'm trying to figure out if he's watching like British sports or Canadian hockey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's hockey at this time of year.
Well, it's not the Penguins, so you wouldn't be saying that.
Well, I mean, like, see that's why American football is superior. We can play ours in the snow.
Shit, I played a game where it was freezing rain.
It is Pittsburgh who's winning the game.
Pittsburgh versus LA's in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Or is this like a team from Louisiana? Either way, why do they have a hockey team? Like Pittsburgh, I can understand. You know, it gets plenty cold up there. But
I'm not Pirates.
Los Angeles? Why the fuck do they have a hockey team?
Probably money laundering.
Gross.
And wait, LA's winning or are they losing? Is Los Angeles beating Pittsburgh at fucking hockey?
Holy shit, they are 5-2. That's gross.
See, I don't know much about hockey, but I venture that's pretty bad because if I'm not mistaken, hockey is like soccer; it can end in a tie, and does quite frequently.
Yeah, it tends to be a low-scoring game.
That's just.
And how
see, I can understand like Los Angeles beating Pittsburgh in basketball. Pittsburgh doesn't even have a basketball team, you know. That's understandable. But
also,
hockey.
Pittsburgh Penguins. I get the alliteration, but really, you're going to choose Penguins as your team name.
Hey, man. Penguins is a badass mascot. Just ask Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Penguins aren't exactly known for their ferocity, now are they?
And Jean-Claude Van Damme is not known for his skill as a firefighter or for beating up terrorists. But he managed to do both in Pittsburgh, dressed as a fucking Pittsburgh Penguin, sir.
Yeah.
I don't even know the name of that movie, but
see, I think it's fuck, what was is it Disposables 2?
You mean Expendables?
Expendables 2.
Disposables 2.
Disposables, yes. The Expendables 2. Every time that I think Jean-Claude Van Damme now, I first think of Expendables 2 with his floppy old woman arms.
That's right, Assassin. It was sudden death.
Sudden death, that's right.
And then immediately after thinking that, I just think fucking Bloodsport when he gets in the kicking competition against a French kickboxer.
Well, no, like that's why I miss the '90s. You had just ridiculous movies like that. Sudden Death. That was the decade of like Steven Seagal movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Really, they were just ridiculous, and that's why I loved them.
The funniest part about Steven Seagal movies is that Steven Seagal thinks that he's actually a badass.
Didn't he get choked out by like Judo Gene LaBelle, or is that somebody else I'm thinking of?
He probably did.
Yeah, he's the one that had that. They were in that judo sparring thing, and he's just pushing people over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, he was Steven Seagal was Aikido, right? That was his martial art back in the day.
Yeah, I think it was Aikido, and then he went in.
It was a Kenpo, Kenpo, or whatever it's called. Like a stick fighting?
Aikido.
No, he didn't do the stick fighting. He did.
It's Aikido.
Yeah. Well, I knew he did Aikido, but I was thinking he did something else too.
Let's see here.
Oh God! Oh, now I'm on a Steven Seagal kick. What was the one he did with like the Jamaican street gang or whatever? Like the leader believed in voodoo or whatnot.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was that movie? Fuck.
Oh my God, he's got a guitar.
Oh yeah, he's
Steven
tried to
Seagal
be a
or
blues
Jean-Claude Van
musician.
Damme?
Seagal.
Seagal has tried to
Songs
be a
from the
blues musician.
Crystal Cave.
Marked for death. See, Assassin. He's on the Steven Seagal knowledge tonight. My favorite one, though, my favorite Steven Seagal movie. Well, I'll tell you back. Number one was probably Under Siege. You got Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey in that movie. This is disturbing. Like, no. But yeah, Under Siege probably number one. Number two was On Deadly Ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like they took Steven Seagal seriously enough there for a while that like they had Michael Caine, as the bad guy.
You think that's
So-
bad?
Well, no,
I
like
just-
Michael Caine, he's great in that he's an actor, like a legit actor, where he'll just you're paying me money to be here, so yeah. Like I think he was asked about was it Jaws 3? I think that's the one he was in. Like, did you ever sit down and watch that movie? He's like, no, but I saw the house that bought it.
I take my job as a guitarist very seriously.
So I just started watching clips of Steven Seagal doing his Aikido and martial arts, and it is fucking hilarious. It is going back. You guys have seen the Chi Masters, right?
All I have to do is just one finger, they'll disarm you or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's Seagal's videos about martial arts. And also his action scenes from movies. I can't buy that he's actually doing anything all that impressive, because he does not sell his punches at all.
Oh no, that's part of the reason why I loved On Deadly Ground. The guy from Dumb and Dumber, the one that ends up like choking on the rat poison at the restaurant. He's it's just set in like Alaska. They're trying to like drill oil or whatever up in Alaska. And I don't remember what part Steven Seagal had to play in this operation, like against it or something. But the guy from Dumb and Dumber, they're in a bar and he's playing all macho and whatnot.
Mike Starr.
And so they start doing the hand slap game, Sanguine.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're trading like punches, when you get the hand slap. It's like, yeah, because that totally happens. That's how you avoid like an all out bar brawl. You just you play the hand slap game.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone knows this dude's name except for me. Okay, yeah, I'm guessing his name's Mike Starr. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, but I've never heard actually looked up his information. And why does Johnny, have I ever said anything that would make Mr. Yes think I know anything about Lorenzo Lamas?
Other than the fact that he was on Renegade, and that's the only thing I know about him.
I've never brought up Renegade though. Like I was barely aware that was a thing.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen an episode.
Were we going the route of Chuck Norris and Walker, Texas Ranger? Because I didn't see that coming.
I think it's because Mr. Yes knows I have long hair. That's what it is.
But do you have the eyes of a ranger? The unsuspecting stranger.
You know, I had like one of my dad's brother-in-laws. He actually thought that show was like legit. Like there's a few years there in the '90s where he was, I would go up to visit my dad, and he thought like because I was part engine, like I had missile powers or some shit. This was a man in his 40s.
I can believe it.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anything Lorenzo Lamas has been in, Mr. Yes.
You want to know what's really funny?
Favorite Chuck Norris movie?
Delta Force.
I don't know, man. I'm a child in the '90s, so I'd probably just stick with Sidekicks. That was a good one. I really enjoyed that. It was very meta.
Delta Force 3, and really the only thing I remember about it is that it had a motorcycle that shot rockets. That's all I remember, and it was awesome.
Yeah. For me, like I missed seeing a bunch of the Chuck Norris movies, like when they came out and stuff. But as a kid, Sidekicks and Walker Texas Ranger was real big on TV. So yeah, I'd say that'd be my favorite Chuck Norris movie.
If we're talking our favorite martial artists, because that's why Mr. Yes brought up Chuck Norris and Lorenzo Lamas, were action martial arts movies, I have to go with, of course, the funniest one is hands down Jackie Chan. I don't think anyone will debate that the funniest action star is Jackie Chan. The funniest, intentionally funny action star. Let me phrase it that way, because Steven Seagal is the funniest action star that's an unintentional funny. But Jackie Chan is the funniest intentionally funny action star.
Oh,
when it comes to martial arts.
Wasn't Lee Marvin a Marine back in the day? Or am I thinking of a different actor? Because I want to say it was like I saw a clip of him talking to like Dick Cavett about being in the Marines, and I think that's like where they got the Forrest Gump getting shot in the ass.
Let's see.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is also a good martial artist. How many fights?
He was in the Marine Corps.
How many fights did Jean-Claude Van Damme actually have? How many competitions did he go to? Because I remember him, like being like a kickboxer, if I'm not mistaken. They called him the Muscles from Brussels. Not because he was, yes, everyone is confirming Lee Marvin was Marine.
But yes, I think that my favorite action movie star currently is Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
I'm out of loop, dude. I've just been rewatching old stuff that I liked and watching old TV shows with Nana Camel.
Have you seen the Ip Man movie series?
I have not seen the IP Man movie series, no.
Yeah, Ip Man is about a actual person from history. It's blown up a fair bit, but it's an actual character.
A fair bit.
Being generous there with just saying a fair bit. It is massively blown up. I think
whoever wrote this was blowing the guy at the time. There is no way now that's not a little bit.
Though I do think that if I remember correctly, the Japanese officer fight was something that was actually historically accurate to a certain degree. And I'm not sure if he ever fought a boxer, but I think the Japanese officer was actually something that was based on an actual event.
And aren't there like 5 or 6 of these movies?
There's 4 official line Ip Man movies, I think.
Because I know there's the 3 because I've seen 1 and 2.
Yep.
3 has Mike Tyson,
Which is still good.
and I think 4 is supposed to be a prequel or something.
No,
like that.
4 is after because 4 has someone playing Bruce Lee.
I'm sorry. Did you guys say that Mike Tyson is in the IP Man movies?
It's in number 3, yes. And Mike Tyson is actually a badass. And no,
Does he do the Phil Collins drum solo in this one too, or
No, he doesn't do the Phil Collins drum solo, but he does get enough bare knuckle fight with Ip Man, and it is fairly impressive because neither one lose in that fight. It is just we'll fight for this amount of time. If you survive, fuck it. I'll say that you won. And yeah, it's up to Ip Man 4, and Ip Man 4 is when Ip Man is now in the US. Someone's playing Bruce Lee, and it's a racist USMC line fight trainer decides to take on Ip Man. Which, are you guys familiar with line fighting?
No, can't say that I am.
Nope.
Have you ever heard of Semper Fu?
Oh, you talking about Marine Corps slap?
Semper Fu, the Marine Corps martial arts. Before that, there was something called line fighting. And the reason why they went to Semper Fu was they decided that line fighting really good at killing people, really shit at taking people alive. So they wanted a version that would keep the lethality, but also have a this is how you disable someone versus this is how you fucking murder someone.
Yeah, see, Mr. Yes, bringing up the Street Fighter movie. That's. I blame that movie. I blame that movie for killing Gomez Adams. So.
Roll, Julia.
Yeah. Like
But
I couldn't pick up the Street Fighter game for. I was traumatized by that movie, sir. It was so bad I couldn't play the game for like I don't know how long afterwards.
You have to admit though, Raul Julia had some amazing fucking lines in that trash movie. It is a hilariously trash movie, but it is a trash movie.
I try to block it out. Like that's one I have to go back and like revisit. Because like I have that nostalgia of like seeing like the Mario movie and realizing it was bad right then and there.
Yeah,
and like it was so bad it was good.
You see it and you're like, you know what? I'm having Alzheimer's right now. I bet I'm gonna like this movie.
But like I don't know, man. I guess I was just more attached to Street Fighter as a game than I was Mario Brothers. Because when I saw that movie, I was like, no, what? No.
But there's
it's got Gomez Adams and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Why is it this bad?
Yeah, and there's a fantastic line from Raul Julia, which is the line that Mr. Yes just referenced, which is the line when Bison came to your miserable little village and wiped it off the map. It was one of the most important days of your life. But for me, it was just a Tuesday. That's a great villain line.
Yeah.
I wiped out your village and I don't even fucking remember it.
But no, speaking about movies where somebody's playing a fictional somebody else, you know, with the somebody playing Bruce Lee. You guys ever see Undisputed?
Yes.
Ving Rhames is playing Mike Tyson pretty much in that movie.
Don't believe I've seen that one.
Oh man, that was I don't remember when in the 90s that was. But Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames have a prison boxing match.
Nice.
And
2002.
That was 2002?
Yep.
Holy shit, man! I thought it was earlier than that. But yeah, like Columbo is setting the rules for it and everything. That's probably why Peter Falk said. That's probably why I thought it was 90s.
Michael
True.
Rooker's in there too. And Wes
Yeah,
Studi.
he's one of the guards.
Wes
What?
Studi.
Oh, Wes
that-
Study's in there.
Yep.
He's another inmate, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember him as one of the guards.
Don't ask me why this reminded me of this, but that just reminded me of. Did you know that in the filming of The Scorpion King, Michael Clark Duncan almost busted the ever living fuck out of The Rock's face?
Really? Because I heard the other way around. Like Michael Clark Duncan got knocked out by The Rock.
It was in one of the scenes where they'd choreography of you do this, then you do all the standard shit. And one of them had the pacing off. So when Michael Clark Duncan was doing an uppercut, The Rock thought that he was supposed to be reacting to a gut punch
Oh, he bent down into it, didn't he?
and just got his bell fucking rung.
According to this, The Rock knocked out Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, so that's the way I heard
I'm
it.
remembering it the other way around. Then. I thought
Yeah,
it was
'cause, like,
Michael Clark Duncan.
I mean, because The Rock came from pro wrestling. He's used to choreographing at least parts of fights. So if the way I heard it was like he was moving so crisp, and Michael Clark Duncan was slow, and he zigged when he should have zagged, pretty much. And The Rock just laid him out.
Okay, I could have sworn it was the other way around.
Yeah, because I mean, Michael Clark Duncan's a big boy, but
and he was fucking powerful as shit.
The Rock used to play D line for the University of Miami back when it was the U.
Let's see.
Mhm.
You know who took his spot on when he blew out his knee, right? Sanguine?
I don't remember.
Warren Sapp.
Ah,
Yeah, like the didn't he have the record for like most sacks in a season until
Yeah, I believe so.
Strahan took it?
yeah.
Yeah. Like he called Brett Favre personally. It's like, don't let him sack you in this game. See, I used to keep track of like sports trivia and stuff like that. You don't know? Are you fooling me right now, Assassin? You don't know who Warren Sapp is?
You probably saw him on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, he's been in movies too. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like after he Well, no, like Warren Sapp, if I'm not mistaken, he was on the Buccaneers team that won with Gruden as the head coach back. Was that 2000? 99, 2000?
I can't remember off the top
Oh,
of
you're
my
not
head.
you're not from Florida. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's some of the like NFL trivia that I have because I used to watch the NFL as a kid and I just kind of grew out of it. Still like college ball though.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, I managed to watch the Fiesta Bowl this year, like actually sit down and watch it,
Yeah.
and they won.
Oh my.
Yeah, I don't know how to take that, man. Usually when I watch my team, they lose. I got to listen to them on the radio.
You broke the curse of the year. Probably pick up next
Yeah.
year.
I really can't tell who's more superstitious: D&D players, football, or really any athlete, or the fans of any sporting event.
It's,
Well,
it is all a big mishmash of spurgery.
I partly joke about that, but for the longest time, I would be working on Saturdays, so I couldn't sit down and watch the games. So the only way I could actually know what was happening, like play by play, was listening, on radio. And so I guess I just got in that habit of listening to it on the radio, and those rare Saturdays where I would get the occasion to sit down and watch, it would end up being a game where like, oh yeah, they're coming in, they're favored to win, and then they just choke. It's like, I shouldn't watch this shit.
And to respond to Nobody Not Me, if Florida only exists on YouTube, where do all those insane criminals come from? There has to be some point of genesis for the Florida man if Florida doesn't exist. And for some reason, Assassin of the Gray is talking about combat flight crews. Any particular reason why he's talking about combat flight crews that you guys can think of?
To come to full circle with Pearl Harbor. It's one thing I can think of.
Yeah, I missed the where he started talking about flight crews, but I see he's he was busy in 2000, so he didn't catch the Super Bowl between the Raiders and the Buccaneers.
Okay, he's saying no one is more superstitious than combat flight crews. That I can believe. But in the civilian world, like I said, it is a hard toss-up between D&D players, sports fans, and athletes. Because I used to play football when I was in school. I played for 12 years. And damn near every single other player had this is my lucky pair of socks, this is my lucky underwear, this is my lucky this is my lucky that.
Well, I mean, Michael Jordan, he had his college basketball shorts on underneath his Bulls uniform every game.
Yep.
And it was, partly because of that. Like I had a pair of shorts that I would wear underneath my basketball uniform. Just also like being the tall, lanky fucker that I was. Like, I don't know when they had bought the school uniforms for like my basketball team. But like they came up to like Assassin would appreciate this. They were practically Ranger panties on me, so like I had to have something underneath them so I could just kind of like sag those down and like try and cover up with my jersey pretty much.
See, the only thing that I did to increase the chance of winning a game was I hit people really, really hard. And I was damn good at it. I didn't have any lucky thing. I just hit people.
So like they weren't necessarily like lucky shorts. It was like I am not showing that much thigh playing basketball, man. I need something underneath these to,
And his response back to that was gay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure like they hadn't requisitioned new school uniforms since like the 70s, probably at that point.
I remember,
just 20-year-old basketball trunks.
I had my friend talk me into doing cheerleading in my senior year in high school.
Great way to meet chicks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I showed up to one of the games, and it was, to put it best, cold as fuck. Not
ideal weather to be using like any type of like explosive muscle use to like throw chicks in the air. Not conducive.
Well, I was more of the I was a firm foundation to stand on is what I was used for.
You almost said that you were firm bottom, didn't you?
Well, not in those, not in that context, but pretty close.
Because you chose the words very carefully.
I didn't have any arm strength, but I was a foundation piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the dress code was athletic shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. And I show up with these skivvy looking athletic shorts, and I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm showing thigh that I shouldn't be showing here. And the girls show up, and they're wearing like full leg pants.
Yep. And
jumpsuits. And I go, well, where'd you get those? And they're like, oh, we got them from the coach. And I go, where's mine? She's like, well, did you order it? I'm like, no, I kind of figured that they would have them. If I saw you guys with them, why the fuck wouldn't I have one? So I'm at a football game in, I would say it was about 20-degree weather in these athletic shorts and a t-shirt, freezing my balls off in front of
so what you're saying is
people.
That while all the girls were brandishing their pokies, you had nothing at all. You were a fucking Ken doll at that point.
Pretty much. And yeah, and everyone felt bad for me too, which is the best part, because everyone knew that the girls were fucking total twats. And I was talking to a friend of mine who was, they ended up calling me Cartwheel because
that's about all you could do, huh?
That's about all I could do. And the more they asked me to do it, the more I do it, and the more I did it, the more it pissed the other people off. And so I'm like, well, fuck you guys. I gotta stay warm. This is how this is gonna work. And one of the gals, she actually lent me her gloves. She had, they were really thin, the cotton. I don't know if you know what they were, but they were finger gloves.
I'm just really glad that I caught myself before I said something, because I realized you're talking about probably high school, and you probably aren't talking about all seniors. So these are probably a bunch of underage people.
Of age people, because we are 18 at the time.
Oh, you are 18. So
yes.
She just gave you the gloves in order to avoid you seeking warmth in other locations.
Yes. And it helped. Let's see if I can...
No, I had when I got to college, I had friends that were on the cheerleading squad, and what was great was they would show me all the compilation videos on YouTube of the cheerleading fails and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, this is one of the most dangerous sports in America. I was like, you say sports. It's like, I have a hard time wrapping my head around that. Like, oh yeah? Click. And you just see chicks face planting from 7 feet in the air.
Up, yeah.
Well, no, I mean maybe the dude gets shaky while he's holding her or something, and next thing you know, she's just eating grass. And then of course, yeah, the ones some chick doing flips and twirls and whatnot in the air, and then the dudes don't catch her, and she smacks her, cracks her back on a basketball court or something.
Well, I've seen it where they do they drop the person, they do this twirl shit, and then there's a mid-air head collision, and so everyone fucking drops.
Well, I had one buddy. He was pretty cool. But I was like, all right, so I've shown you all the car crash videos, pretty much, of cheerleading, right? Now check this shit out, and it was showing actually good acrobatics and whatnot.
These type of gloves. These are a bit more thick, but they're a little bit thinner than that.
Gotcha.
Yep. Kind of like the military surplus. glove liners type deal.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, kind of like this. Without the pink. I think they were like maroonish.
So, am I correct to believe that you two bastards were lucky enough that you actually had attractive cheerleaders rather than the cheerleaders that my schools had, which were effectively the morbidly obese, there's no way in hell anyone's throwing them into the air, fucking create an earthquake if they land wrong?
There was... Let's see. There was one girl who was light enough that I was able to actually lift up. And she didn't trust me at all. So, like, anytime I tried to lift her up, she would, like try to grab my wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And she would end up falling over.
I would say, like, high school and college, the cheerleaders were kind of meh. But the dance teams, there were some cute girls on those.
Oh, yeah.
You lucky bastard. My experience was that the fucking cheerleading squad was a bunch of beached whales, and the goddamn dance team was literally detectable on seismographs.
No, like I said, I had friends in college that were male cheerleaders, and so, like, I think it was a couple weeks before spring break, they went to like the national cheer and dance tournament in Daytona Beach,
Mm-hmm.
and I had just got my financial aid refund check.
So you went along?
I was the quote unquote manager.
Yep.
I managed to carry their bags off of the bus into the hotel, and then into the hotel back onto the bus a week later. That was the extent of my managerial duties, and I spent the rest of the week on a beach drunk.
Yeah, one of the times that I was... So, like I said, I played football for 12 years, and I had a habit of either my own body would take me out of the running, or several people would have to spend their bodies in order to take out mine. To give credence to this, I had a point where I put my arm out of the socket rather impressively in the middle of a game. I was taught how to play defensive end during halftime. Started playing defensive end for the first time right after halftime, because the other team had this one power play that was just absolutely murdering our defensive ends, where they had the offensive end and the tackle hit the defensive end. If the defensive end was still standing, they had a pulling guard hit the defensive end. If the defensive end was still standing, they had the first run blocker hit the defensive end, then the second run blocker hit the defensive end, and then the actual runner would come.
Were you guys like running the wishbone or something? What the hell?
It was the other team. They just had this fucking monster of a power play.
Ah.
And I was put in because I was just an absolute goddamn wrecking ball. So they threw me in with the instruction of, if that power play happens, punish them. So I went in, and fourth down, they decided to run the power play. So I have the offensive end and the tackle both hit me. I slam them together, dump them on the ground. The pulling guard comes sprinting down the line full force. So another lineman, 250, 300 pounds of lineman. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Comes hurtling down the line. And this is where the story separates, because there's the way that I remember it happening, and then there's the way that other people have told me it happened. The way that I remember it happening was I was looking around, I saw the guard pulling, and I just kind of slammed my arm forward into his chest, hitting him as hard as I could with my right arm. ended up ripping him off his feet, cracked his chest plate for the shoulder pads, possibly popped a few ribs in him because he ended up getting dragged off, and just tossed him away from me with my arm. My arm had enough force, it kept going, popped out of the socket, going forward, and dropped limp by my side. I didn't realize this had happened. So next run blocker comes up, and he just saw me launch a lineman with my right arm. So he kind of stutter steps for a second, and then decides, in for a penny, in for a pound, he commits to coming towards me. I go to hit him with my right arm just kind of flops in front of me. I realize, oh, I don't have a right arm anymore right now. I hit him with my left arm, and I ride him to the ground, slamming him into the ground, my hand on his shoulder. The second run blocker has now stutter step because he just saw me take out the defensive or the offensive end, the offensive tackle on that side, the pulling guard, and the first run blocker, but realizes that I'm kind of tangled up, so there's no way that I'll be able to get my hand up in time to hit him or the runner. So he decides that he's going to run around my shoulder. As he runs around my shoulder, I just dive sideways, hit him in the ribs with my shoulders. We both go down. The runner's now just looking at this going, what the fuck? And just kind of shaking his head like, no, this is not, no. As I'm clawing at the ground with my one working arm saying, don't move, I can get up, I can hit you, just stay there.
'Tis but a flesh wound. Bite your bloody kneecaps off, I will.
And my right arm's still just dangling limp out of the socket because I've completely blasted out of the socket. So that's the way that I remember it happening. And the back on my side ended up realizing what had happened and just tackled the ever-living shit out of the runner as I get to my feet. So the way that everyone else told me it happens is I come busting through the line. Same deal. I slammed the offensive end and tackle into each other, dropping them to the ground, come through the line, and I notice this pulling guard. And according to them, I cock back my head, yell something incomprehensible, but angry sounding, and lunge forward, slamming my arm into this guy's chest, launching him backwards as my arm just falls limp. Again, blasting him back like 2-3 feet after ripping him off his feet. He's full sprint at me, and he just goes fucking parallel to the ground, flies back 3 feet, and then slams into the ground. My arm's out of the socket. Then everything comes back together where I pick up the next guy, then I pick up the third guy, and clawing at the ground, trying to get back up to hit the actual runner. That's the sort of monster I was when I played football. So several people would be spent trying to injure me, or I would injure myself. That was an example of me injuring myself. My knee, it took 2 people to cripple my knee, and one of them put his shoulder out through shoulder pads on it. So one of the times that I ended up crippling myself, and unfortunately this was my senior year of high school, and I ripped 2 muscles completely off the bone during this particular injury. Painful. I ended up becoming the volleyball manager. So I got to watch volleyball matches and enjoy that scenery.
Our volleyball team was cute.
Yeah. Volleyball teams, I think the world over, are cute.
I didn't really pay attention to the volleyball team at my school. I remember they had like a pep rally one time because they were like, I guess, going off to like state playoffs or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think the movie Coach Carter had come out like a couple of years before or a year before. Johnny, are you familiar with that one?
Is that the Samuel Jackson one?
Yeah, he's the basketball coach for the Richmond Oilers, I think, or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a Richmond, California high school team. And they had that the chant in the movie, Rich what? Richmond. And Like the girls' volleyball team, for some reason, they latched onto that phrase and to use it for like our school. It's like, you are some pasty white bitches, and you have the audacity to use that movie? Really? Like they had one white guy in the whole movie. That was Channing Tatum.
That's kind of like the high school that I went to.
I mean, they had the dude from Finding Forrester in that movie. Come on.
I don't think this will dox me at all, but the school that I went to for high school for 3 out of the 4 years had the mascot of the Warriors. So, depending on what martial movie came out recently, the style of warrior would change drastically.
Oh, see, I was really hoping you guys would have been like, Warriors, come out and
Come out and play. Yeah, sadly, it wasn't that form of Warriors, though. In order to do that one properly.
See, I forget that you're a little bit younger than me, and like I remember when I was in high school, there were like the '80s nostalgia was real big.
In order to get that properly, you have to first get a few bottles on your fingers so that you can do the Warriors come out and play. Because you need that chinking of bottles.
Assassin's finally realizing that this is not his living room, so he's freaking out about this family sitting in front of the TV for no reason. Although it is definitely past those kids' bedtime.
Is it at least his family sitting in front of his TV, or did just some random family come in and sit in front of his TV?
You'd have to ask Johnny, man. You know, it's his stream, so I'm guessing he invited him at least.
Yeah, I don't even know who the hell these people are.
Just neighborhood ruffians.
Just a normal everyday family, just sitting watching us stream, I guess.
Oh, okay. This what's going on here? Johnny, I did the thing where I went over to Twitter. Drew Barrymore tears up while talking about dating as a single mom. This is from HuffPost.
Isn't she a total nut basket?
I mean, she grew up in like an acting family, so I'm going to say yes, more than likely. Odds are good if we're, shaking the magic 8 ball on this one. But
yeah, she effectively grew up to Hollywood royalty and still somehow was able to feel pressured to put herself on the casting couch.
I mean, like, didn't she have like a cocaine problem as like a teenager or something? I mean,
yeah.
Or was it booze? Or was it both? I can't keep track with like child stars. Like, what was their...
It's Hollywood. It's probably both.
All three. Take the pills, too.
But Drew Barrymore said she will never, ever, ever, ever get married again in a candid interview that aired on CBS Mornings. Well, I'm a night person, so I missed that. The talk show host said that she's not there yet in an emotional exchange about dating as a mother of young children. Like, isn't she pushing 50?
Quite possibly. At least in her 40s.
Like, do you guys remember, like, it was a couple years ago now, I think, like, Charlize Theron had the same kind of sob story?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I can't, I'm painfully single or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's because you're, like, nutters.
Yeah. And your nutters while now being on the downsweep 75. Of the up to crazy.
She was born in 75?
Yep.
Okay, because just saying 75 is like, wow, she's holding up pretty good for a septuagenarian. Like, those plastic surgeons, man, they really know what they're doing these days. They've had a lot of practice.
She's the best looking old dame at the old folks' home.
see here. That's 30 to 2005, 40 to 2015, 45 to 2015, 50. So she will be 50. Let's see, 54 in February.
Yep, but
You know, I was joking about public schools earlier, but it took you way too long to puzzle that out, Johnny.
yeah,
I hate doing math in my head. And I still think I got it wrong, so I'm not gonna.
yeah. I was about to say, didn't you say 75 was when she was
Well,
born?
it's
Yeah.
2022 now. Add 3.
75.
I am way too fucking tired to add simple numbers.
Johnny, 75 to 2000 is how many years?
74. I don't know. Like
1975 to 2000 is 25 years.
25 years. Okay, so 25 and
Then
then
add 21. Because you did get it wrong.
Okay, so that's 46.
46, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was. She's pushing 50.
Yeah, like I said, she was mid-40s, at least.
And you know what the sad part is I'm the mathematician of the family. But yeah,
So, are you the reason why the average is 2.54 kids?
I thought it was 2.3.
You just multiplied it wrong?
Well, I just like bagging on Johnny for this because, like, I suck at math too, but I listen to Monkey Stream, and that man likes to talk about himself. So I knew 1975 was 46.
Oh, I didn't realize he was born in 75.
He talks about it quite often.
Well, that shows how much I don't pay attention.
You've given a lot of money over the years to not pay attention, Johnny. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's not the relevant information that stays in my head. It's the completely irrelevant shit, like the fact that he has gay hair.
And he likes Hamilton way too much.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what gay hair means.
It means it's fabulous.
So, puffy?
I don't know. But
Or does his hair just like to suck dick? I mean, what does gay hair
maybe he has
exactly
that something about Mary Cowlick. I have no idea, dude.
Does he slap it and be like, hey, keep it up, keep it down up there?
Well, I think we've run out of shit to talk about.
Yeah, when we've got the monkey's hair, yeah, I think we're time to call it.
I mean, you could talk about, the shit that everyone else has talked about that I haven't talked about yet. Whatever that was.
Yeah, we can close on that because we are reaching the 2 hour, but we'll close with the G4 TV coming out and completely shitting on everything that they previously had on screen.
Do you remember when G4 was tech TV and actually useful?
No, because I didn't watch it when it was Tech TV. I didn't watch it when it was G4. Like I knew about G4 and Attack of the Show from Maxim magazine when they had Olivia Munn on the cover. That's about it.
Not a bad way of finding out about it.
I mean, I will say, like, Olivia Munn is from Oklahoma originally.
Nice.
She's Oklahoma City area, like Norman, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She went to OU.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I have no frame of reference for the show, like except for like the old clips that I've seen floating around in response to this chick's tirade.
When I first knew about G4, it was still Tech TV, and it had shows about video games, and shows about actual tech components. So it would be reviews of what's this processor like versus this processor, and here's the common errors that people make when they're making their own computer. That type of shit.
Yeah.
And it was useful. And then it became G4. And it stayed useful for a little bit, and then it got rid of all the tech advice shows. And, well, at least it would still tell you what video games were good. And then it became, hey, we have old cops episodes.
Yeah, it started with the after hours. We're going to play cops for a couple hours.
Yep. And then it just became cops.
And then it just became like cops and cheaters.
See, now I got the cops theme in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was always a dude and a wife beater too. Like that was a dude that was dressed up on cops back in the day. Like that was a high class trailer park. The dude was actually wearing a wife beater.
What was the comedian that was talking about cops and was saying that he's watched a lot of cops and he has to give his credit to the cameramen of cops, because there'll just be some dude running away from the cops and the cops will start huffing and puffing as they're chasing the dude, but the cameraman carrying this like 75-pound camera will be just right behind him the entire fucking time. He'll be hiding in the bush. The cameraman will just be squatting there in the bush with him, just looking at where the cops are, looking at the dude's face in super close up.
Yeah, I don't remember who made that joke, but yeah, it was a good one. So yeah, like I didn't even know that they were bringing. Is this just on YouTube, or is this an actual like TV channel where they have like they're streaming to YouTube as well?
Well, I think they're just streaming to YouTube now. I don't think it's on TV.
Yeah. Like I said, I never cared about G4 back when it was actually, like a thing on TV. Only heard about it after the fact. And this, seeing what's been said, by this chick's like, I don't want to watch it. You're not drawing me in. And I'm sorry, dudes commenting about your bangability versus some other chick. That's just dudes talking about women in general. That has nothing to do with you being in gaming. That's just dudes being horny.
Yep.
Welcome to Earth.
And we're never gonna stop being horny until we're dead.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like if I'm stuck in a room with that chick, I'm probably gonna have a lowered libido. And not even because she's got like the covered in tattoos and the door knocker on her nose, but just having to listen to her talk at some point. That's going to kill the mood for me.
And teeth that can hoe a field. I thought she.
Yeah, I
thought
noticed
she had braces on for a moment. Like no, those are just her teeth.
Yeah, like when I saw the video, like I had to watch like the Razorfist video a couple times because the first go around when he played that clip of her, that's all I could. I naturally, when I'm seeing somebody talk, I focus on their mouth, just to see how they're forming the words, make sure that I'm hearing what I'm hearing and shit. And yeah, when it got to that point where like, she's actually talking, it's like, is that the lighting? Are her teeth brown? What's going on with this grill? So yeah, I had to listen to it again to actually hear her squawking, because I was transfixed by that the first time around.
Did she take eat shit and die a bit too literally? Just forgot the second part.
I don't know, man. Yeah, those. I'm not one to comment on somebody's teeth because my grill is not the best either. But that
How
was
English are we talking?
I got a couple teeth. Probably give Steve Buscemi a run for his money.
On a scale of 1 to the royal family.
I would say I'm a solid Steve Buscemi on that scale.
Okay.
You know, he's got the bug eyes. That's what separates us. But when it comes to teeth, we're on par.
But yeah.
So Sanguine, you have anything else to say about G4?
I just miss when it was actually useful and it served.
Oh, I meant the current iteration.
Points.
If you had anything to say about.
I stopped watching once it just became Cops, the TV channel.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought with what was it, Fuse? When it had its time being MTV for a while, and then it became
Modern MTV.
Yeah, pretty much. It just followed.
Oh yeah,
it just followed suit.
I remember Fuse now. That's the channel I was watching the first time I got high and watched The Wall.
Yeah. There used to be channels that you could actually watch music videos and listen to music on. And then they decided, you know what? It's just easier having a bunch of whores.
Well, that was the first moment in my life when I realized I was getting old. I was, went out to the lake with some friends. They're off swimming, and I'm laying on a dock after swimming. Doing a little sunbathing, listening to like iHeartRadio or Pandora, like one of those apps on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was listening to like some 90s alternative or something like that. Some station that playing music from when I was a kid, but not anything special. And I don't know, kid probably somewhere in the age range of 10 to 12 comes up on the dock and he starts trying to talk to me. Mm-hmm. And he asked me like what I'm listening to. And I told him whatever the band name was, and he's like, I have no idea what that is. And he's like, how old are you? I was like, I'm old enough to remember when MTV still played music videos. And he said, what?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I'm much older than you, apparently. Go away.
Far, far older than you.
Yeah. I vaguely remember like when I was a small child, remote control. You remember remote control, Johnny?
I do remember remote control.
Dead, Alive, or Canadian?
God, those were the days.
And you'd have like Headbangers Ball, Yo MTV Raps.
Man.
And then by the time I got to high school, like all you had left was like was TRL with Carson Daly. That seemed to be like the only thing they had left that was actually like playing music videos.
Yeah, it used to be that it would play music videos, and it would start with during like the peak daylight hours. It would be mostly pop music. And then as it got later, it would get to dirtier and just weirder shit.
Well, yeah, like when I was a kid, you had to stay up late to like actually, like they'd play very little of like Tool's music videos. What was that one? Was it the Prodigy? Smack My Bitch Up. They only played that like once. And it was like 3 a.m. or some shit, you know?
They played it during the day, and it got banned from daylight time playing, and so it would only play when it was like the techno stuff would play at night, at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Like yeah,
on a Saturday.
Yeah, like it'd be one of those like it's gonna play at some random ass time, like after the bars have closed, like, you know, by the time you gotten home, like, then through one bleary eye, you might be able to see, you know, smack my bitch up before you passed out.
Yeah,
They used to
And
have
when
like a
it got
bunch of
really-
videos that end up getting banned.
And when it got really early in the morning, it would go over to the young kid who doesn't have internet access because either internet wasn't really as much of a thing yet, or your family just didn't have a computer that you could use at the time, / didn't have a subscription to Cinemax. I almost said Skinemax because that's what it becomes.
I mean, that's what it was. Yeah,
that's where you were going.
And it's the godsend of at least they start playing adverts for fucking Girls Gone Wild.
Okay, now that you brought up Skinemax, and it's almost 1 a.m. here Central Time, which means it's almost 2 a.m. Eastern Time. I gotta ask, what was the most memorable like Skinemax title that you remember seeing, Sanguine?
See, I was not one of the families that was lucky enough to have Skinemax. So instead, Girls Gone Wild and Telemundo.
I did get lucky as I was growing up that did have like HBO and Skinemax and I think Showtime.
You lucky bitch.
Oh yeah. I've never seen Lord of the Rings, but I have seen Lord of the Cock Rings.
Nice.
That was hilarious. I was like, wait, people are actually supposed to jerk off to this? This is funny.
Mm-hmm.
just the names alone, you know. Instead of Bilbo Baggins, yet was it Dildo Baggins?
Dildo Saggins.
Dildo Saggins. Yes, thank you. Is that, are you saying I'm gay for not watching Lord of the Rings or for watching Lord of the Cock Rings? Because it was an all-female cast. So I mean, I guess I guess you could say that was gay.
But yeah, I think we should start to call it. I'm starting to fade a bit.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
I'm just waiting for the delay to see if he 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, I was about to say, why not both?
It's parting thoughts for you, Sanguine.
I'll leave off with my standard of if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you.
Right, and Camel.
I will argue that Lord of the Cock Rings is less gay than Lord of the Rings.
I'll agree. And it's just it actually with it being filled with gay sex, I guess that would be it would still be less gay.
The Amazon series hasn't quite come out yet.
No, I was just talking about less. It was Lord of the Cock Rings was less gay than Elijah Wood and Rudy.
Just because they had undeniable chemistry.
I've never seen the movie, but I've seen the memes, and I think they back me up here.
All right, and I think I'll just go with if you have an elderly person in your life that needs your assistance, offer it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I do that 12 to 14 hours a day, Johnny.
I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
No, I'm just basing it off the call I had earlier today at work.
I know, but you were sitting there trying to wrap things up, and I'm trying to stick the format here. We're on your channel after all.
I will shut shit down. No exceptions.
I figure I could stretch this another 13 minutes.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that if we kept going, that he would have trouble actually shutting us down. Despite him saying that he's able to shut it down, I think that we could call his bluff rather substantially. And he wouldn't do a goddamn thing, especially if I just keep on filibustering by just constantly talking without actually any pauses.
All right, so it's closed. Have a good night.
We'll be able to continue just talking and talking and talking. Have a good night, all.
Bye, everybody.